Welcome to the Chief Architect Quick Tip. Today we will be covering creating custom shower enclosures using Chief Architect Premier. So let's get started. We'll begin by opening up an almost complete bathroom. All that we have left to finish is our shower. So to start with, let's take a look at what we've done so far. We'll use our full camera and take a look at the area that we want to add our shower. Now I prefer to draw in a plan view, but I also like to see what's going on in 3D as I'm drawing. So what I generally will do is select Shift F6 after I've opened a 3D view so that I can have my two views open at once. Now the tool that we will be using today to create our shower enclosure will be our half wall tool. So with my floor plan selected, I'm going to come up to my architectural toolbar and select a straight half wall. Then I'll click and drag until I have my half wall drawn almost entirely across the span of this space. Because I'm going to be changing this wall to a much thinner wall type, I'm going to wait until I've changed that wall until I enclose the space all the way. And that's just because I already have this wall that it will be snapping to dimensioned correctly. It's just a personal preference. So now I'm going to open up this wall by selecting it, coming down to my Edit toolbar, and selecting Open. And there's a few different changes that we're going to make to this wall. First off, we're going to come into this Wall Types tab, and instead of our Interior 4, we're going to change it to a Glass Shower wall type. And if we select Define, it'll take us to our wall type definition, where we can change the thickness of the wall if we would like to. In addition to that, this is a great place to change the wall material if you're not going to be using this particular color of glass, because you really want to make sure that you're not going to be using the Material Painter tool to change that glass material. The Material Painter tool is a room painter, so it's going to paint the room as opposed to the wall. The other place that you can change the material is actually exiting out of here and coming into the Material tab, where you can adjust the different interior and exterior wall surfaces of this glass wall. So next we want to come to this Newell's Balusters tab, and it's called that because the program sees half walls and railings in the same way. They operate in a very similar manner. So we're going to raise the railing height, which in effect is going to be our wall height. We'll change that to 94 inches. And one more thing we can do to customize this wall would be to come to the Rail tab. If you wanted to remove the rail at the top of your wall, here's where you would do that. And then once we've made all the changes that we need to make, we'll select OK, and we can see that glass wall. And now I'm going to zoom in, and you can see by my indicator, we can just snap that right to the corner. So next, I'm going to open up my library, simply by selecting my library browser. I want to find a nice shower door, so I'm going to type into my library browser, glass door, and here we have a nice shower door we can work with. And once I've clicked to drop it in, I'm going to select the door and open it up for specification. Now the first thing I want to do is to make room for the shower pan that I will be putting in later. So we're going to raise the bottom of this door 4 inches, and we'll adjust the height to accommodate that. And the door that we've used does automatically have a frame, which I want, so I'm going to keep that. If you wanted to remove the frame, you could always use a slab style door, so it's in our door style, and change the material of the door to a glass. And you'll notice in my image here that because I raised the door 4 inches, it automatically added a sill down at the bottom. So we're going to come into the Casing tab, and we'll simply select Suppress Sill. And notice with the door style that I'm using, it automatically suppressed my casing for me as well. And going back to the General tab, actually, I do also want to reduce the thickness of my door. And this thickness does include my frame, so I'm just going to reduce it to a 1-inch thickness. And next, I want to come into my Options tab, and we're going to select Swings Both Directions, since it's a shower door. Nice to have it go in and out. And then finally, in our Hardware tab, we can add a nice handle. So I'm going to simply select Library next to the interior handle, and we'll expand our libraries. And I'm actually going to use one that's in the commercial folder. It's just a nice pull handle. I like the look of that one. And we'll do the same thing for the exterior. And once that's all finished, we'll select OK. And you can see those changes. And now I'm just going to match a couple of materials. So I'll grab my tempered glass that's on my walls and apply it to the door. And then I'm going to grab this brushed aluminum and apply it to the railing. And the next thing that we'll want to do is remove this molding from the inside of our shower room. So we'll come over to our floor plan view, open up the room, and I did that just by double clicking inside of it. Under the molding tab, uncheck default and delete that base molding. We'll select OK, but in our camera view, you'll notice we still have that molding extending across our shower wall. So to remove that one, since we just want to remove it on a single wall, we're going to select the rest of the bathroom room. We'll select down in our Edit toolbar, there's this option for Make Room Molding Polyline. So what this does is it takes my existing base molding, when I select OK, and it creates a molding polyline that I can then work with. So I can select this wall that has the molding that I want to remove, open up that polyline, and there's an option to remove the molding on that selected edge. So with one check, that molding is now gone. So now that we don't have molding on the inside, I want to change the wall material for this shower to match this stone. But again, I don't want to use my material painter because that'll also paste that material onto the inside of my glass wall. So what I'm going to do is use my break wall tool and break the wall where it meets up with the shower. So I can select my 3 shower walls, open them up, and in my Material tab, I'm going to change the interior wall surface. Come into my plan materials since I know that I already have it in my plan, and we'll grab that tile, select OK, and it's applied it to the interior of those walls. So now our shower is pretty well finished. We just need to add our finishing touches. So we'll come back to our library, and in our architectural folder we have a folder for fixtures and then faucets. We'll grab our shower fixtures. And I'm going to use a ceiling rain head in the middle of my shower, and then these basic handles. And now all I need is my shower pan, so I'm just going to type that one in. And we'll grab this large rectangular shower pan. And it's not wanting to conflict with the other objects that I have placed in the shower, so I'll place it outside the room and hold down my Control key to pull it into my room. Then I'll use the edit handles to resize it. And the final touch, we'll expand our 3D view here. We'll use the material eyedropper to grab our floor material and paste it onto our shower pan. And that finishes off our custom enclosure. Now I do want to point out as well that in our library we do have quite a few enclosures that you can use. They're pre-designed and can just be placed. They're especially useful if you're going to be having a bathtub with an enclosure on the outside. Those ones can come in really handy in that instance. But as you can see, it's very easy to create these custom enclosures using Chief Architect Premiere. So now I just want to show you a few things on our website, chiefarchitect.com, where you can find a number of other resources for additional training and help within the program. So on chiefarchitect.com, under our User Center, you can find catalog downloads where you can download additional items that you can use in your program. This is also where you can find our training videos. They're searchable, so you can search for pretty much anything that you want to learn more about. Under the Support tab, here's where you'll find our help. And over on the left, you can see it's divided into different categories. And we also do have, featured articles and which ones are most popular. As you can see, one of them is creating a steam shower. And this explains how you can create a custom wall type so that your walls are vapor resistant. So feel free to explore this one and the many other resources that we have available on our website. So I hope you have enjoyed this quick tip today, and I again invite you to go find additional resources through chiefarchitect.com, or as always, to go and download a free trial version. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.